Tonight on Connecticut's news station, racist flyers found. One town in our state on edge as police investigate hateful messages.
Also, demands for reforms to the Supreme Court. Connecticut groups want accountability as several justices are caught in ethical controversies.
Timing out some additional shower chances for tonight into the day tomorrow. Plus, we are timing out more of a steadier rain in time for the weekend. Your full forecast coming up.
And dining with dogs.
People love their pets. And, if they don't want to part with them, then we'd love to oblige.
The FDA now says your dog can join you at a restaurant outdoors. Find out what Connecticut rules are about bringing along your furry friend.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
First on Fox 61 tonight, people in one Connecticut town are concerned this evening after white supremacist flyers were found. Good evening, I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Dozens of people in Rocky Hill packed a town meeting this evening to find out what's being done about the racist messages. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner went to that meeting, joins us live right now from Rocky Hill to tell us what was discussed. DeAndrea.
Well, Ben and Jen, these meetings, they happen every month, and this particular commission, it's been in session for about a year and a half now. One of the commissioners told me that they have these every single month, but this month, this particular meeting, it was a packed house, and it was because they wanted to discuss the issues that were happening here in Rocky Hill.
We need to have conversations. We need to have everybody open and speaking and working together.
Calling for unity and action.
There are people, likely people in this room, who are personally threatened by this neo-Nazi group.
That statement ringing true for some.
I was very concerned about, do I let my children out to walk the dog? Or do I have to worry about some racist group coming after my kids?
Rocky Hill citizens piled into the city council chambers Wednesday to express their concerns for recent white supremacist flyers left in their town.
And can see with our own eyes that Rocky Hill is a very diverse community. So my question is why Rocky Hill? Why was Rocky Hill targeted?
This month, people found pieces of papers in neighborhoods that read, "Black Crimes Matter" and "Defend White Communities."
Frequently, when a community faces an incident like this, the natural response is denial. This isn't our community. We don't have a problem with racism. But the truth is, racism exists everywhere, and Rocky Hill is no exception.
The Rocky Hill Commission on Inclusion and Innovation holds meetings each month, but people say Wednesday night's meeting emphasized the importance of the commission.
Our role as a commission is to listen to our community, to get the input of our community, and we got that tonight.
Community members standing up against hatred and racism.
But doing the hard work of addressing institutional racism that exists in our town systems, practices, policies, and our zoning regulations is the difference between being nice to everyone and being truly anti-racist.
And also in response to this, community members will hold a rally on Sunday, an anti-hate rally at the Craig School here in Rocky Hill. That is at 1 p.m. on Sunday. For now in Rocky Hill, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
DeAndrea, thank you. Also new at 10, we're hearing from groups in Connecticut upset in the wake of ethics scandals involving Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Neil Gorsuch. They're asking for accountability and more action on gun reforms from Congress as well. Fox 61's Jake Garcia in Newtown tonight after hearing from survivors of the worst mass shooting in our state's history.
10 years after the Sandy Hook Elementary School mass shooting, a group of surviving students and their teacher are calling on federal lawmakers and the Supreme Court to take action.
We are a nation on edge. Where are our leaders? Where is Congress? Where is the Supreme Court?
Abby Clements was a second grade teacher 10 years ago at Sandy Hook Elementary. This group of now high school seniors were in her second grade class when tragedy struck on December 14th, 2012.
The Supreme Court has taken away rights we counted on for decades, and it's giving guns more rights than kids.
Last June, the Supreme Court ruled a centuries-old law in New York was unconstitutional. The law required applicants for a concealed carry permit to provide proper cause.
When I was 7 years old, I had my first experience with gun violence. Growing up, I always thought it would become better, safer. If there was a universal problem, I knew that the grown-ups would stop it and fix things. I was wrong.
10 years later, the surviving students of the Sandy Hook tragedy want Congress to act.
In America today, children are more prepared for an active shooter than almost anything. They know how to shut the lights, pull the desks over, lock the door, and barricade it. Yet the majority of these children haven't even learned basic multiplication yet.
A decade later, the scars of tragedy remain.
12/14 was our 9/11, and it still hurts to this day.
This group calling for an end to gun violence and changes to the Supreme Court, including term limits for justices and more oversight on the highest level.
The current Supreme Court is incapable of pursuing justice for the most vulnerable in our nation. It's time for Congress to restore the court's legitimacy.
This was the second stop on a 20-city tour across the country calling for change. The next stop is in Montpelier, Vermont. In Newtown, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you very much. We want to talk about the forecast right now. Our cooler April weather on repeat this week.
Yeah, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first check of this kind of rainy forecast. Hi, Rach.
Yeah, we are kind of in and out of the showers this week. They've been pretty hit or miss in nature, and we have a few more out there this evening. Most of the state is dry, but we'll take a look at Litchfield County as a front approaches. Kent, Sharon, up through 44, all dealing with some showers right now. A lot of this will kind of break apart and fall apart as it moves through the state, but not before we get a few raindrops out there for some tonight, and a few more possible as we head into tomorrow. So here's a look at the future radar overnight. Again, a few drops out there. Heading into tomorrow morning, there could be a few more chances for showers, but by afternoon, we'll try to brighten things up a little bit, especially for the second half of the day. Low temperatures tonight around 40 degrees inland, low to mid 40s for the shoreline. So it's actually not as cold out there tonight as it has been the last two. No frost to start off the day, but you may need an umbrella in a few spots. So mostly cloudy skies, temperatures beginning in the 40s with that chance for a scattered shower. And then as we head through the afternoon, clouds will try to break for at least some sunshine. We're in the mid 50s at 1 o'clock, and we'll see high temperatures right around 60 degrees as we head through the afternoon. Friday looks pretty nice, but the next chance for any widespread steady rain, of course, it comes over the weekend. We'll talk about it. Your full forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. New details at 10 tonight as a driver is sent to the hospital after crashing head-on with a school bus in West Hartford. Police say the crash happened around 4 o'clock this afternoon at the intersection of North Main Street and Miller Road. Police say that there were students on the bus at the time of the crash, but fortunately there were no injuries reported on the bus. Investigators are now working to figure out what happened before the two vehicles collided.
Sometimes what you see isn't always what happened. So our investigators go through a great number of training courses and become familiarized with a number of pretty advanced pieces of software and hardware.
Officials say the school bus was carrying students from South Windsor.
New at 10, a teen was arrested after Wallingford police say he was part of a string of thefts in town this morning. Police say 3 youths were trying to steal cars on South Whitsley Avenue just before 10:30. A few minutes later, officers responded to a Sunoco on Route 5 for a reported purse theft. Then, a little before 11:30, police got to the Pit Stop gas station on Woodhouse Avenue. Officers found a stolen car driven by the teens who tried to steal another purse. They dragged the victim about 20 feet, but the victim wasn't injured and the purse wasn't stolen. The teen was eventually arrested in New Haven, and he's facing 8 charges tonight.
Southington is the latest Connecticut town where police are investigating a wave of smash and grab incidents from cars in town. Officers released this video as they look for who's responsible for 11 thefts from different vehicles. 2 suspects were caught on camera using a light to look into cars just before 5 a.m. Southington police are now looking for at least 3 or 4 people who broke into cars in the northwest and central parts of the town.
I'm pretty confident in saying that these are most likely people that have been involved in committing crimes in other towns, and it's just a matter of time before we figure out who the people are.
All of this comes after similar waves of break-ins in Rocky Hill yesterday, as well as South Windsor and Wethersfield last weekend.
A Fox 61 follow-up to our top story at 10 last night. Some essential workers are concerned after waiting months to get money from Connecticut's Hero Pay. We are hearing from the state that if you don't get your money in the next few days, you probably won't get it at all. Comptroller Sean Scanlon says a few hundred applicants won't get the payment compared to the more than 150,000 workers who have. There's been frustration, though, between mistakes on applications and some people becoming ineligible when the program was reduced.
We did get a lot more applicants than we thought we would. One of the first things I did as comptroller was to actually go to the governor and the legislature and ask for more funding because we knew that we weren't going to be able to make those payments that they deserve. Listen, these are our frontline heroes. I want to do everything I can to help them, but this has been a complicated process, but we're doing the best we can.
Lawmakers and the comptroller are discussing expanding the Hero Pay program, but they'd need a piece of the state budget and surplus money to fund it. You can hear our entire interview with the state comptroller, including answers to some of your questions, on fox61.com and on the free Fox 61 News app.